areas that they can do. For Adam's Apple, Nami Madini, Damascus.
لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله لا إله.
We have seen this young kid, and we have seen what he is capable of doing, and doesn't mean that he is disabled. He can do. This guy is doing charity by himself because he is doing something to help his family and everyone around. This is what we're looking and what we're searching for in our youth, and what we inshallah can implement. About this specific topic, we have Farouq Alzouman, the first Saudi who climbed Everest for the second time with us on the show. Farouq, welcome to the Adam's Apple.
Thank you, and thanks for having me.
Actually, it's a pleasure to have you. Farouq, you've been involved in the charity work in the past period, and of course this all happened after you have climbed the Everest, and you had to become someone who can do it, inshallah. So tell us, what do you think of the charity work, and how does the youth, I mean, you've been involved in a couple of things, and what did you see the youth doing? Are they accepting this idea? Is it something new, or is it something that they had from before?
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Yeah, well, actually, it's really surprising to be. Well, first of all, we have to define when we mean charity. When we talk about charity, like what is the definition actually of charity, and when we talk about volunteer work. When we say charity, most of you youth, or pretty much all the people here in Saudi Arabia, predict that we're talking about pretty much giving money.
Yeah.
But actually, when we're talking about volunteer work, more it's like giving your time, giving your, the gifts that you have, whatever, you can actually give to this nation, to Islam, to the needy, no matter what they are. In the past year, I've seen like hundreds and hundreds actually of group, whether it's pretty much it started from online, like websites like Facebook and all that. There is a lot of competition. A lot of kids now are doing a lot of volunteer work, thinking that, if they have something, they got some times, why not invest in actually making this nation a better nation, and why not actually doing it also for the akhirah, for the afterlife. For me personally, it's really interesting. I always try to go and actually motivate youth and talk about my experience of climbing that mountain, and how life in general is actually like climbing a mountain. You will see a lot of obstacles, you will see difficulties, you will see a hard, tough time. You need to learn actually how to conquer yourself in order to conquer this Everest of yours that you're trying to climb. So that's what I do. I go a lot and I talk a lot about my experience. And
how is that response from the kids and from all the youth?
It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. I'm loving it, and I'm learning from it, and I'm as well learning from the kids that I talk to all the time. It's wonderful because it's actually it motivates them. It makes them feel that they want to do something. They want to change themselves. And they want to do a volunteer work, but before they start from the outside, they want to do a volunteer work with their soul, They want to change something inside. So it's great to feel that you're a motivator, you're an inspirational.
Of course.
And anyhow that you can. A lot of people might not think that, but it's great to be at that level to be able to do this.
Of course, it's an amazing feeling.
Yes, and Mr. Farouq, how could celebrities support the concept of charity as you do? In order to change the concept of charity in a better way, in a positive way. How can you do that?
Well, I think it's really important for every celebrity, whether he's a TV celebrity or even in another way, to put this as a really important thing in life, that you have to do this. And how to do it is actually to be leading, to volunteer, to be there, to celebrate with them, to actually work with them when you can, to give lecture if you are able to do that. Talk about your life, your experience, and what is your passionate and why you're doing this. A lot of people will actually like to be at that place, at that time, just to be with you as a celebrity. So if they do this, that's a great move, because all the main problem with charity or volunteer work all the world, around the whole world, is just the first step, how to get out of your house and go there. Start to do something. If that works, then the rest is really easy, because you're getting mingled with all the kids around you, and you're loving it, and you're feeling yourself that you're a part of something. And the same things with celebrity as well. If they can get just the first step and leave the house, or leave the TV, or leave the computer, and go there and be with them, they will just feel that there is a whole different world out there, and they need to. That's what everyone needs to do, just to go out, be there, support them. When they see them, a lot of people will come, a lot of people will feel motivated to be with the charity kids or the volunteer work kids.
So, Farouq, can you tell us what kind of charity do you do or you're involved in?
Well, for me, as I told you earlier, it's just pretty much it's
motivation to the kids.
Yeah, it's pretty much like giving lectures about my adventures to Everest, climbing the mountain, and what motivate me to make my dream true. What are the goals? What are the obstacles I've seen?
What have you gained from that experience?
And my faith in Allah Azza wa Jal, how it pushed all this. What do I gain?
And what did you gain?
Gain from climbing the Everest?
From the experience of climbing the Everest.
Unbelievably a lot of things. Faithful with me, between me and Allah Azza wa Jal, uncountable things. Between me and my soul and myself, just being able to learn about yourself and know your qualities, your negativities and positivities as well. Knowing what your soul, what yourself needs, what it doesn't. Knowing your limits and everything. How to teach yourself to be patient. In general, it's not the mountain we actually conquered; it's ourselves that we actually
It's a challenge.
Yeah. So I've learned so much from that trip, so much. It's a challenge that will make every challenge in life now it's a way easier than challenging that, you know what I mean?
I got your point.
Exactly. So that's pretty much
the experience.
Yeah.
Yes, Mr. Farouq, how does using the media help giving charity, like using the net and using the TV and using these kind of technology? How do these tools help changing the charity or the concept of charity?
It's nowadays, in 2009. There are actually a lot of things that the media have changed. I work in a PR agency, a public relation company, and we deal with a lot of actually newspaper and the media in general, whether it's TV, newspaper. So I think the media has changed a lot, especially when we're talking about inline uses, like using the internet, especially the websites that I mentioned, like Facebook, MySpace, and all these websites. But the problem is that we are facing is actually taking the initiative from the media, personals especially, because they're willing, they want to help, they're willing to help, but they want the kids to come to them, or whoever has a charity work to come to them and offer them, show them what they got. And that's a great thing, but not a lot of kids will take the initiative. Not a lot of kids know about taking the initiative, the advantage of taking the initiative. But I suppose that the media really should now start sweeping the floor and looking, mopping and looking for actually who are the people are doing a great job with charities and actually volunteer work, and they need to take them and expose them to the whole world to see what they have been doing. That's the main problem. Other than that, a lot of individuals actually have taken the initiative by themselves and made a group, and now they're actually growing really fast. And I see a lot of competition between areas in Saudi Arabia, like Jeddah and Riyadh and Sharqiyya. And when you go to each area, there's a lot of competition between groups inside. So it's just beautiful to see something like this happening here in Saudi Arabia in a matter of 1 year.
Brilliant. So how can we expand the concept of charity of not being only money giving? How can you expand it to any other concept? How can the people understand those concepts?
Exactly. You see, that's one of the main that's the main obstacle that keeps people away from actually being there and doing something for themselves, for their nation, for their society, or even for Islam, for Allah Azza wa Jalla on the day after, is this concept that they think that with charity you have to give money. I don't have to be there, working, doing. I don't think they need this. I just need to give money and
relax.
Take the headache. You know, I don't need to think about a lot of things. But you see, you're not learning. Yes, it's true. You're doing a lot of things, and it's perfect. Your nation or whole Islam, you're benefiting yourself. But this is not the point. If you really want to benefit yourself and your society, and you should
get involved.
Exactly. If you got skill, you got a gift, you got some things that you can give. Why not? Why not go and do it? Because we are now in need, pretty much, of this. More than actually the need of money. We need people who actually get on the street and organize things and run things and invest their times and their brain and their, you know, and be patient with whatever happens. That's what we need. So what we need to change these concepts, we need a campaign, I think. We need a campaign involved with a lot of media. We need to really focus on telling people that charity doesn't mean just giving money. It's giving your time, it's giving your gift.
Your effort.
Exactly, your effort, whatever you have to give actually. You know, whether it's online, at home, you can give a lot by using the computers now, by spreading the word and doing all that, or by actually getting out in the street and organizing, running, doing.
Helping the people, giving a hand. At least if you don't even have any money, you can just give an hour or two of your whole week in helping, doing anything.
Exactly.
Just distributing anything.
Exactly. We need a media campaign. We need to spread the awareness, especially around the PR people or the media, to know that this is.
What about the charities that are already existing? What if they also started asking for other types of support rather than money and any valuables or anything? Why don't they ask for people to come and join them and try to help them in anything else and they need, let's say feeding the other neighbors, distributing anything that they collect? And this is all charity, of course.
Exactly.
Won't those charities also at least ask for people to help them? I mean, it's also a good idea.
Yeah, it's a great. But the main problem that we're facing now, it's pretty much concepts, understanding concepts first, and second is organizing. A lot of people want to do a lot of things at the same time, but they have different concepts. Some people think charity means money. No, the other one thinks, oh no, charity means work. And the third one thinks something else. That's one. So if we can all get together and try to understand concepts and put them all down and understand what we need to do, put the rules down, and understand also what everyone has to do, responsibility. Everyone has to be responsible, because volunteer work doesn't mean that you have to be there, show up, and you just do not do a good job, and then tell everyone, well, I was just volunteering. No, Allah Azza wa Jal or Rasul Alayhi Salam also have said in Allah, إِذَا يُحِبُّ إِذَا عَمَلَ أَحَدُكُمْ عَمَلًا أَنْ يُتْقِنَهُ, as you guys said in the beginning, that Allah Azza wa Jal likes or actually loves whoever does whatever he is doing is to make it as best. Let's make it with a good quality. So this is one. Second is how to organize things. I mean, you have to organize. You have to have a president or a manager, someone who to run this and to know everyone what they need to do. If we start with this, or a product line, what they call it in volunteer organizations, like a professional ones outside Saudi Arabia. If they do a product line and then start getting more professional after that, that's okay. But they just need to understand concept and start organizing each other. I think this is the most important thing now.
Hopefully.
Yes, Mr. Farouq, youth generation are getting further away from charity work. In your opinion, how can you, or how can we change this concept and tell them about the importance of this concept, the charity work, in order to attract them to do some charity work and some volunteer works?
I might disagree with you about how that a lot of youth people are actually, or kids are getting further away from charity. I think it's totally the opposite. I think the volunteer culture or the charity culture now between youth especially has increased when we talk about percentage-wise.
Recently, of course.
Yeah, I'm talking about the past pretty much like a year or 2 years ago, have increased amazingly. That it's become actually, it becomes a style. There's even a lot of people, I wouldn't even judge people, but there are a lot of kids who will just get involved in volunteer work, or just because it's the style. It's something that cool people do now. So that's a great thing. That's a great culture. Even though we don't want to judge people how they think or how, if they're doing it for this or this or that. It's just the fact that someone is out in the street doing something good is just good. We don't want to even judge people. But I'm trying to get to the idea that's become a style, become something cool that kids do around. You know what I mean? I'm all like getting out. So, but yeah, I'm just saying that it's a great. I'm loving it. I see kids. I've gone with a lot of different organizations in Jeddah and in Dammam and in Riyadh. I've read a lot about their activities, what they've been doing, even accomplishment around Saudi Arabia. It's amazing for everything, like everything that you can think of. Cancer, like cancers, sick people, unhealthy hospitals, orphans, like
Hajj and Umrah.
Here we go. Just name it. Like everything. Kids will just get involved. It will take us a little bit of getting things together and being a professional. It'll take some time, but it will take a way shorter than a lot of people think, because it's in 1 year it just jumped so hard. Like no one ever expected.
There was lately the campaign of the 1 million that went down to the areas where people camp around Riyadh and started cleaning and collecting all the leftovers just to keep it a clean site always.
Yeah.
And this happened like a few months ago here in Riyadh, and it was called the campaign of the 1 million because there were 1 million people in general through the whole month going outside and just trying to clean and come back.
Here we go. You see, if we sit here until Fajr prayer, we're not even finishing, even tomorrow, with just giving examples of how many like volunteer or even charity works by the youth are doing. Like one of them is just so simple and not a lot of people might think about. Diving, scuba diving. About 3 months ago, I think, there were like more than 100, I think, and 50 divers who've actually all got together from all Saudi Arabia and Yanbu just to clean
the bottom of the sea.
Just to clean. So they've spent like hours and hours. They've actually grabbed more than, I think, 50 tons of garbage.
From the bottom of the sea?
From the bottom of water, yeah, from the bottom of the sea. I don't know how long it took them. But, can you imagine, like, tires, part of cars and all that? This is a volunteer work and something so different with fun. A lot of people do volunteer work with the production, with computers, with a lot of things like this. A lot of people do volunteer work with what they like. Everyone, you just got to find out, like, what the gift that you have. What can you give? Not necessarily money. You are youth. You can invest a lot. You can change the whole world. You can change Saudi Arabia if you really want. So, yeah, the kids are doing this now, and it's amazing. It's blowing me away.
Who are the prominent people that do charity work here in Saudi Arabia?
Who are? Oh man, there are a lot. I don't want to. I don't know if you're asking me to name people, but there.
No. The type of people.
Everyone. It used to be, and that's. It used to be more like the conservative type of people who actually are willing to go in the street and invest just for Allah Azza wa Jal. But it seems now it's like, it becomes like more and more stylish that a lot of people are doing it because a lot of people have actually realized that it changed them.
They can do charity and enjoy their time in their own profession.
As I told you, the scuba diving example, people are doing like a good thing, but at the same time they're enjoying. There is nothing amazing or better than this. And I will always give an example of soccer. I say a lot of people might, take the ball, take it to the street and play, just to play, 2 or 3, 4 or 5 people, and yeah, you're having a good time. But imagine if you are actually taking the ball and going in a stadium where more than 70,000 people are watching you at the same time, and you're playing for your nation or your sport club. The pleasure is even more, is a triple, or even it's uncountable. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So if you're doing something, it might seem fun, but if you do it for your nation or for Islam or for Allah Azza wa Jalla, it will become also more fun and more pleasurable.
With no doubt.
Yeah.
Yes, Mr. Farouq, can you tell us about the importance, or before that, the director told me that there is a report. We'll take it and we'll be right back.
Very special, there's no one just like you. Created by the Master, Allah created you. You are very special, exclusively designed. You are very special, and I'm so glad you're mine. You were made by Allah. He fashioned your heart. You were made by Allah. He knew you from the start. You were made by Allah. Unique in all your ways. You were made by Allah. To praise Him all your days. Bright little eyes He gave you to help you find your way. May Allah grant them wisdom to see you through each day. You are very special. There's only one of you. You are very special. And remember, I love you. You were made by Allah. He fashioned your heart. You were made by Allah. He knew you from the start. You were made by Allah. Unique in all your ways. You were made by Allah. To praise Him all your days. Whatever life will bring you, whatever you will bear, remember your Creator. Allah is always there. And when your world is crumbling with pain and darkness too, just look into your heart. Allah is there for you. You were made by Allah. He fashioned your heart. You were made by Allah. He knew you from the start. You were made by Allah. Unique in all your ways. You were made by Allah.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You're still watching Adam's Apple, and we continue our discussion with Mr. Farouq Alzouman, the first Saudi who climbed the mountain of Everest. Mr. Farouq, what did you have in mind when you saw this report?
What did I have in mind? It was an amazing... well, you mean my first impression? Well, yes. I first thought that... I don't know, the color here is pretty much the same. So I thought that you guys videotaped me when I was walking here. I was like, wow, these guys were so quick. They had already videotaped it, and I remember the cameraman was pretty busy. So I didn't remember like who was actually videotaping me. But it was good. It took my jaw down for a little bit.
The impression in the people and the kids' faces. How did you see that? You know.
The kids were surprised that they don't really know like how hard it is like to climb a mountain or anything like this. But you know, we actually sat down and we started talking, and I told them about my adventure in climbing the mountain in a childish way, so they can understand. It's amazing because a lot of them wanted to climb a mountain with me next time we go. So we started talking about actually how are we going to go and climb and spreading responsibilities around. So this girl was telling that she will make the breakfast. The other girl, she said that she will take care of the tent. The other boy, he said that he's going to go for hunting. So it was pretty nice to hear all these kids. Everyone wants to be responsible and a part of a whole team for one goal is to reach the summit. So it's good to see this spirit even with kids, you know, who are actually have the concert, but you know they're strong, you know. It's beautiful to see.
I was talking to Saud just earlier that there's a question in my mind that you have that you hoped you want to call for prayer when you reach the summit. Is that right?
Yes, actually, to be honest with you, actually that was a hidden dream that I didn't tell a lot of people about before I went. After I came, I did. I just wanted...
but before you didn't tell anybody?
Well, maybe few people. But it's just the fact that you are standing on the highest mountain that Allah Azza wa Jalla has created. And you're facing like towards Mecca. And at that moment, you know, while you're facing at Mecca, at the highest point on earth, and you know that you are the closest Muslim to Allah Azza wa Jal at that moment, and then you lift your right hand and say, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. And you know, on all these mountains and snow and rocks and clouds, they actually are hearing the sound of a prayer, adhan from the highest mountain and for the first time in history. So that was my passion that were really pushing me off, like toward that goal to make the summit.
But what did you feel when you
what
when
did
you
I
finished
feel?
the adhan?
I felt as close as your imagination possibly can get to Allah Azza wa Jal. I felt that really I was so close to Allah Azza wa Jal at that moment. I couldn't really lift or actually take my eyes off the sky, because I kept just looking up and thanking Allah Azza wa Jal that I had the honor, or I had to be on that mountain at that time and alone and be the closest Muslim to Allah Azza wa Jalla at that moment and do the prayer. So it was something passionate.
Beautiful. What are the challenges and the priorities and the future for our youth in the charity work?
Wow, the challenges. The challenges are actually a lot, but as I told you earlier, one of the most important things to understand is to understand concepts. You know, to understand what the meaning of this or that. Why am I doing this? Do we have a clear vision? Are we doing this for the money? Are we doing this for the fame? Are we doing this for the style? Are we doing this for because I don't have, I'm pretty much free? Or why? So if we understand, all of us, why we're doing this, this is great. I think the challenge will be like a lot of people are getting involved in it and not knowing why they really actually are doing this, not really thinking of the main point of why they're doing this. This is a big challenge. Another challenge is everyone will think they will have their own way, which is pretty much all the time the better way, the best way, because everyone thinks that their way is the best way. So if they can know that no, there is another way, and they can work together, it will be great. So understanding will be a good...
Sharing.
Yeah, sharing and understanding and giving up sometimes your way.
Teamwork.
Teamwork, a lot of things. We need this, because we need this in our education, whether it's in high school or college, in order to be actually imposing it in real life and implementing in it.
Well, Mr. Farouq, unfortunately, that's all the time we have. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you so much. It's really a pleasure to be with you guys. It's a pleasure to be talking to you guys again, and hopefully we'll see you all again, inshallah.
Thank you so much.
Too.
And it's a pleasure having you on the show.
Thank you so much.
Well, folks, this is all for now. Inshallah, we'll meet you tomorrow night. Thank you for watching. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Welcome, O Ramadan. You are honored, O month of the Quran. It is Ramadan. O one who sleeps, stand up and declare the oneness of Allah, the oneness of Allah. O one who fasts, stand up in prayer at night, and Allah will forgive, Allah will forgive. Welcome, O Ramadan.